Hey everybody, Brandon Swanson here from Most Valuable Podcasts, and today we're kicking off our preseason top 25 with number 25, the Duke Blue Devils. Yes, they scratched the top 25. I know. You may not be happy with us, but we don't care because we think we're right. Duke last year at 5-3 in the conference, 9-4 overall really showed us something. That Duke can play football. I know. I was shocked too. But honestly, this year it's going to be interesting. Thomas Sirk is going to come in and replace the quarterback that was the man last year for Duke. That's not going to be easy. But I think that defensively, Duke will soar. Their secondary is the strongest point that they have. The defense will carry the offense this year for Duke, and defense wins championships. Unfortunately, Duke won't win one of those this year. I'm excited for Duke. Offensively, they've got some pretty good running backs. They've got a guy with power, speed, and a guy that can do all three. However, they're going to have to try and find guys to throw the football to. They've got a tight end that can do it, and a wide receiver that's back this year. However, losing their number one wide receiver, well, it's not going to be easy. Jamison Crowder lost to the NFL. Good for him, bad for Duke. This team, however, can continue to be good in the ACC. Possibly one of the most boring conferences in football. However, it's going to be an interesting year for the Duke Blue Devils. Like I said before, 5-3 last year in the conference. They will surge right around there again this year. Maybe better, maybe a little worse at 4-4. However, Duke in the preseason at 25, very reasonable and respectable for a Blue Devils team that was pretty darn good last season. So this year, you look at how they're going to do. They start off with Tulane. That's a gift. That's win. Right out of the gate, 1-0 for Duke. Then, at home, NC Central. Again, doesn't get much harder, 2-0. Week 3, though. Week 3, big game. Versus Northwestern. They have them at home. Northwestern is going to give them some problems. Pat Fitzgerald's team isn't all that great, and Ricky Whitmer would say, don't even give them respect, Brandon. No one cares. However, you got to give Northwestern some respect. It will be a very close game, giving Duke the advantage at home. Ricky's saying, thank God. Week 4, Duke 3-0 at home, Georgia Tech. Gets a little sloppy here for Duke. They won't get the win in this one. Georgia Tech will beat them. Georgia Tech is a good football team. They've showed it for the last couple of years. Duke hasn't been able to reach them, hasn't been able to catch them. They won't be able to catch them. Week 4, September 26th at home. Duke is now 3-1. Next week, Boston College at home. That's a W. Duke's going to continue to do pretty well, I think, within their conference. Boston College is a team that's good, not great. Duke will beat them. Then Army at Army. Army will probably get on CBS or something like that because they do that for Army games. I'm not sure why. Duke wins. That's easy. At Virginia Tech. This one gets a little tougher than Army, but most things would. However, Duke's going to find a way to win this one. They just do. I mean, Duke is a team, again, offensively, maybe a little shaky, but I think they worked the kinks out in the first couple of weeks. They have their quarterback really settle in. He's going to find some confidence towards the middle of the season. We're getting there right now with Virginia Tech. Duke beats them on the road. Big win for them as they come home against Miami of Florida, and they'll lose. They will lose this one. Duke's going to continue to play well, but I think offensively they're going to have their ups, they're going to have their downs on any given week. This is going to be one of those given weeks where they're unable to get it done. Then they'll go on the road to North Carolina. They'll win this one simply because North Carolina is going to be cheating in the classroom and most likely lose the football game. Bad for them, good for Duke. Don't cheat, folks. You'll get caught 10 years later. Pittsburgh at home, they'll win that one too. Pitt is just not that good of a team. They're not that strong. They're in the lower part of the conference. Duke will get that victory at the University of Virginia. That's going to be another close one. Duke will win it. And finally, at Wake Forest, you can play with your eyes closed. Duke's going to win that one as well. Duke's going to end up with a pretty good record here. But I don't know if it's going to be enough because Georgia Tech is going to end up with a very good record in this ACC conference. Again, not a lot of people looking at this conference. There's not a lot to look at, in all honesty. I'll be honest with you. There really is not. Duke will end second place in the ACC. But they continue to build. That's what's important for this Duke Blue Devil team. They're going to continue to get better. I think they have a good defense to build around, an offense that needs to get a little bit better, but they can do it. Thanks, everybody, for taking a listen here today. The first one of our preseason top 25. We started with 25th and the Duke Blue Devils. You can follow me on Twitter at young_swan19 and at most valuable pod. You can also take a look right up here over my shoulder at our ACC preview, where Ricky really doesn't have a whole lot of good to say, and I am right on top of it. Folks, thanks so much for tuning in today. We'll be back with number 24 very soon.
Don't forget that we started a Patreon page. Go to patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcasts to check out all of our reward options. Remember, you can still get our content for free by subscribing to our YouTube page. But if you want to support us financially, now you can be rewarded for doing so. The link's in the description. What are you waiting for?